Welcome in to another edition of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bratton. I go by SEC Mike on Twitter. And there's everybody's favorite cousin till he locks up your team. Cousin Shade, how's it going, brother?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Yo, a little bit earlier than usual,
Yeah.
So hopefully...
That's my fault. You know, I have kids, so I had to kind of go around their schedule. Got a softball game coming up. So, and by the way, this is Diet Dew. I had to mix it up. So I will not be drinking at the softball. It's like the 80s, Mike, you know. Not just kidding. I'm about to say my parents. Back when my parents were watching. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, you should have told me. I mean, I knew we were doing it early, but you should have told me no alcohol. I would have drank twice, just to even us out a little bit. You know what?
That's right. Yeah. Sorry. I appreciate y'all getting on early. I hate that we don't miss. We should have put this out a little bit earlier, but schedule. It was supposed to be canceled. Long story short, the thing was supposed to be canceled. Then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, we figured out we've got enough players. Let's do this thing." So got a couple more weeks of it. But again, it's my kid. I love watching her play softball.
Well, Shane, I support you in being a good parent. You know, I can't. You'd be a real asshole if you're getting mad at someone for being a good parent. So, but also, Shane, we're allowed to do all this. Thanks to our good friends over at MyBookie. Come on, shout out MyBookie, the online sports book. If you haven't already, go over there, sign up for a free account. Won't cost you a thing, Shane. Cost you nothing. But then if you want to go that extra step further, put in an initial deposit, put in that promo code that. SEC, that's THATSEC over at MyBookie. They'll double, Shane, just like you're about to double lock, curse, smite someone else here in just a minute. So we're using MyBookie's lines for these games. How about it, Shane?
Mike, I'm starting to think that's why the show's doing so well, just because everyone's fading our picks and they're making money. It's not good content. What it is, it's good business.
Well, it must be, Shane, because our brother, cousin JR, my goodness, Shane, what a guy.
Oh, thanks, JR.
He gifted another membership, this time to Tex-Mex. He must be feeling good about his Aggies, I assume, if he's going by Tex-Mex. But thank you so much, JR, for gifting another membership to the channel. So hopefully Tex-Mex and JR will see you at the next family reunion.
Yes, and be sure to get on there on the YouTube. You can put in your scores because we highlight the good ones and the bad ones next week.
Right. Yeah. All right, Shane. So before we get into it, as always, may not be able to pick a game to save my damn life, but I could pick a prize pick. Shane, I got 4 out of 5 last week. That's another great thing about the prize picks. If you're unfamiliar, even if you get 4 out of 5, you're still winning money. You don't even have to go perfect. You only need 2 to be a winner over at Prize Picks. If you haven't already found out about Prize Picks, it's phenomenal. Daily fantasy sports, that's what this is. You play $5, you get $50 instantly via Prize Picks if you use, most importantly, the promo code SEC. They got all the sports covered, but we love it because they got these SEC players. And I got a couple good ones here, Shane. You ready to hear them?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, Texas. Mighty Texas, Shane. Mm-hmm. Their receiver, Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
Longest reception, 24.5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. He's getting more than that. So I think he has at least a 25-yard reception. I know Oklahoma's got a really good defense.
Yep.
But I think Texas they're going to be primed for this one. So give me Isaiah Bond to at least have a 25-yard catch in this game.
So at least a 25, not 25 total, but a 25-yard catch is what you're saying.
It has to be a reception longer than 24.5 to win it.
Got to stretch the field. I get it. I love it. I'm getting behind that.
Now, it ain't just Texas love, Shane. Come on. You know me. Sooner Mike, I might as well be called. Michael Hawkins, outstanding true freshman quarterback.
Yep.
Same deal. Longest rush, more than 14.5 yards. So he didn't even have to have 15 yards rushing, but I'm just saying at some point he's going to have a 15-yard rush in this football game. He had a 40 or 50-yard rush against Auburn. He's got elite speed. He may be the best weapon Oklahoma has in this football game. Give me Michael Hawkins more than 14.5 for his longest rush. What do you think about that one?
I like that. I like it, Mike. Yes, absolutely. You can seal that one up pretty early in the game, I would think.
Right. And hopefully he gets in the end zone when he does it, Shane, because I'm saying more than I love this. Another thing about Prize Picks.
Yeah.
So many unique picks here that you could go with. More than half a rush and or a receiving touchdown from Michael Hawkins. So, if he just rushes one in, you're good. Mm-hmm. If somehow he catches one, trick plays, reverses, all kinds of crazy stuff, you're good. So as long as he has one touchdown that's not a passing touchdown, you win on Prize Picks. I like that one too.
That could be one, man, right? Trying to run the clock out because you got the game in hand and all of a sudden you just break one loose. Oklahoma fans like that, right?
Now, how about this one, Shay? Jackson Dart, outstanding Ole Miss quarterback, been lighting up the scoreboard.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different game, Shane. This is at night. This is Tiger Stadium. I'm going less than 289.5 passing yards. So, again, I'm not saying Jackson Dart's going to be awful, but, I mean, he could throw for 288 passing yards, and you still win this one. I think getting to 300 is that's going to be a tall drink of water in this game.
You're probably right, Mike. You are probably right. And I tell you what, this is one of my favorite kind of bets, too, because you get it for at least 3 quarters. You just have to stress about it for the last fourth quarter, usually.
And, hey, I know this is what you're thinking, too, if you're an Ole Miss fan.
Yeah.
You might be whooping LSU's ass so bad, Jackson Dart don't even play in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean?
That's right.
He can't pad stats if he's sitting on the bench.
That's right, man. I like it.
and then one more from Jackson Dart, Shane. Same deal as Michael Hawkins. More than half a rushing or receiving touchdown for Jackson Dart. I think when they get down there, they've already shown the J.J. Pegues look.
Yeah.
I think they use that as a decoy this week, Shane. And Jackson Dart either gets him a catch for a touchdown or a rush for a touchdown. What do you think about that?
Look at you, already stealing the big guy's touchdown. He just started getting going, and now you want the quarterback to get all the glory again.
Now, again, I've been accused of being an LSU hater.
Yeah.
I got one final prize pick, Shane. Mason Taylor. Do you know who his dad is?
Yeah.
Mason Taylor, more than a half a rushing or receiving touchdown. When they get down there the goal line, they love throwing to Mason Taylor. Give me Mason Taylor at least one touchdown in this football game.
That one's a good one. I really like that one because you're right. It's almost like he looks for him.
Right. But I like all these. What are you talking about? Not just that one.
Yeah, well, again, you stole my big guy touchdown. So a big guy catching a pass is always going to be a winner in my books as well.
Right. Okay. Cousin Adam says, dang, Mike going with Jackson Fart in the Prize Picks. All right, Shane, before we get to our picks, though.
Yeah.
We're about to ramp it up here. Our buddy James Bryant, KATV, Little Rock. Give him a follow, KATV James. He's got his latest Week 7 weather report for us, Shane. Let me see. I think I uploaded it.
Before you do this, at some point, I think maybe at the end of the year or something like that, I would love a 5-minute sit down with him and ask him some weather questions. Because I've got some, I've been watching a lot more weather lately, mainly because of and not to mention the hurricane situation and the flooding situation. But, I want to figure out, are they making this weather, Mike? I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not the conspiracy.
We just lost the channel. Thanks, Shane.
I'm messing with you.
Well, you say that now, Shane, but after what he's got to say right here, I don't know if you going to want to sit down with James here. Remember, he's a big Razorback fan.
Oh, yeah.
Meteorologist James Bryant here at KATV in Little Rock, Arkansas. Week 7 of SEC action is upon us. And before we get into the forecast, guys, I got to tell you, if Tennessee had to lose to somebody, I'm thankful it was Arkansas, and you should be too. We needed it so bad. We were down bad. We got a big win. We wish Tennessee the best of luck the rest of the year. I know it broke your heart, but what a scene from Fayetteville this past weekend on a really big upset Saturday. Now to Week 7. Lots of great weather. We just had another hurricane hit an SEC state with Milton going through Florida. Thankfully, it clears out, and we have great weather around the SEC this weekend. The first game I break down is actually outside the SEC footprint with Missouri going to UMass at noon Eastern time. That game will have a temperature of 66 degrees at kickoff. Northwest winds will be at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and they'll have mostly sunny skies. The next game, also at noon Eastern, 11 Central, it's South Carolina at Alabama. Alabama looking for a big bounce back, 79 at kickoff. There will be a high of 84. We'll have light wind and clear skies. A beautiful afternoon expected in Tuscaloosa. The 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central time slot has the Red River rivalry. It's weird seeing this game in this time slot, and it is going to be hot. This is going to be the hottest game of the weekend. 93 is the kickoff temperature with a south wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. The high during the game is 95. Bring the sunscreen. We'll have clear skies. It will be sunny. Next up, we'll go to Athens, Georgia, 4:15 Eastern, Mississippi State at Georgia. It'll be 78 at kickoff. The temp will actually fall to 70 degrees by the end of the game, so very nice weather for Mississippi State at Georgia. Next up for the night games, we have 3 night games this week. The first one I'm going to break down is Florida at Tennessee. That's 7 Eastern, 6 Central. It'll be 67 at kickoff. Perfect weather for football. We'll have clear skies. The temp at in Knoxville falls to 59 degrees by the end of the game. And now we'll go to Baton Rouge for what could be considered the biggest game of the weekend in the SEC. Ole Miss at LSU. That's the 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central ABC night game. It'll be 78 at kickoff there at Tiger Stadium. We'll have light winds, clear skies, and the temperature falls to 71 by the conclusion of that game. And the last game of the day is Vanderbilt at Kentucky. Huge game for Vandy, of course, trying to continue the success of last week. It'll be 68 at kickoff there in Lexington with clear skies and light south winds, and the temperature there will fall to 63 by the end of the game. Lots of great weather this week, guys. Hopefully we can keep it going. We know that as we go through the next few weeks, the weather is just going to keep getting cooler and cooler.
Mike, it's not just the looks. It's not the flowing hair. You know, it's not that cousin James is the only cousin we know that's got his shit together. It's the tie for me, Mike. The ultimate troll was the orange tie. Did we have to have that with the weather?
I told you you might be out on James, but again, give him a follow, KATV James, and on Facebook, meteorologist James Bryant. He's got over 40,000 followers just on Facebook alone. So really appreciate those updates. It always gives me a better picture of these games. You know what?
Absolutely. I mean, I want to get down there for this Red River, but if it's 1,000 degrees, maybe wax beers and, too many corn dogs is not what Shane needs in the heat,
Well, all right, buddies, you ready to get into our predictions?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Okay, first one on the docket here, Shane. We're going to do the non-conference games first, thankfully we only got one this week. Noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central on ESPN2. We got Missouri traveling to UMass. Missouri's favored by 27.5 points. The over-under is 54.5 total points. How badly is Mizzou whooping UMass?
Oh, it's going to be a wicked piss, as they say, Mike. Mizzou totally got embarrassed last week, and we all know that. It's been, and honestly, I think that their saving grace was that Tennessee and Alabama lost because they didn't talk. If that didn't happen, we would have been talking about Mizzou all week. I will tell you this: there'll be no planted blankets. There'll be no there'll be no crybabying on the sideline. There will be no boo birds, Mike. This is going to be a bloodbath, and I think a redemption, a start toward redemption, if you will. A lot of people coming out, they're on the fence. They just don't know what this team is going to be. They don't know if they can even make a college football playoff, Mike. We talked about it earlier this week. You were almost completely, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but it felt like you've already buried them. But I feel like they win a few fans back. And I know it's UMass, and it's a team that they're supposed to win. But again, there's been some of these games early this year that were frustrating. I think of the Buffalo game. I think about just about all of them. There's always some moment in the football game you're just like, what the hell is Mizzou doing here? I feel like this is not the case. I feel like this is an opportunity. You're going to see 2 or 3 score drives in this football game, Mike. It's going to be an ass beating. So give me Mizzou 56, UMass 13.
56, Shane.
50. They ain't taking their foot off. And you're going to see Pine. He's probably got 3 touchdowns this himself.
Can Mizzou score 56 in 2 games? I don't know.
They do, Mike. They do. Again, they win a little bit of your confidence back. I know, again, UMass. I'm not pumping the brakes here, but I feel like this is a get-right game, and then we're going to get back to playing Mizzou football here.
Yeah. Well, clearly they're going to whoop UMass's ass.
Yeah.
But what would it take for you to be concerned coming out of this one? Like, a 10-point game?
Yeah.
You know, something like, what if it's something like that? I mean, you still refuse to turn your back on Mizzou when
Mike,
they have done nothing but show you they deserve it.
This is a team that I want to see get jumped on early. That's the thing with me. I don't need a Mizzou team that finally gets it figured out in the fourth quarter or third quarter. This needs frustrating for me is being at halftime and up 17-0 or 17-7 or something like that. This should be a 28-0 game, 35-7 type situation here where there's no question who's going to win this football game. So that's me. I just want to see them jump out quick and often on them.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to see some explosive plays.
Yeah.
That's been missing all season. And quite frankly, they had it against A&M, and then they got called back.
Yep.
I'm getting pretty pissed off, Shade, at these damn refs. And again, I know Missouri fans, and I'm not saying just that game. I'm saying all across. We saw a lot against Tennessee. Specifically, offensive linemen going 2-3 yards down the field.
Yeah.
And we're bringing back 70-yard touchdowns. That rule is in place to stop RPOs, especially when it's not if it's an RPO and your lineman's running downfield, throw that flag every damn time. But if Brady Cook's back there slinging the ball 70 yards and his lineman took an extra 2 steps forward, why in the hell are we calling this back? I don't know. That's pissing me off. So we got to clean it up. But yeah, they're going to whip this team's ass, but we've got to see some explosive plays. I want to see how locked in this team. Have they already phoned it in?
Yeah.
Maybe do some of these players, they're already eyeing the NFL? Maybe. I don't know, but we're going to find out. And we got to clean up his defense, which I thought was borderline elite.
Yeah.
They got absolutely thrashed against A&M, who I don't even think the biggest A&M fan until last week would have said, yeah, our offense is good. Their offense has been, they've been really good running ball. Let's give Le'Veon Moss his credit. And I saw someone in the comments, Shane, A&M's off this week. They said, Shane, this is the only week you can pick A&M to win because they're off. Now, yeah, Le'Veon Moss is leading the SEC in rushing, so I'll give him credit. But the rest of the offense, very inconsistent. They look like damn 2019 LSU last week. So we got to turn that thing around. I've said enough for this team. They don't deserve it. Shit. Give me Mizzou 41, UMass 9. That's what I want to see. I want to see a business trip. Go up there, handle your business, come back, and get locked in for SEC play.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I want to see too, Mike.
Yeah. All right. How about in this one, Shane? Can we get a competitive ball game between Georgia and Mississippi State? This is 4:15 Eastern, 3:15 Central on the SEC Network. Georgia, of course, big favorite. Georgia favored by 34 points. The over-under 54.5. Who do you like in this one, the Bulldogs or the Bulldogs?
Let's say Georgia barely, Mike. Brother, this is not going to be a good game. This is going to be a terrible game to watch, and I feel bad for State fans. I felt like you had a moment during the Texas matchup, but you're not going to have that moment against Georgia. I feel like Georgia jumps on them early and often, and I'm expecting a little bit of a slugfest toward the second half. That's why it makes it a little bit interesting for me for gambling. This is a line that's kind of moved a little bit already, but I'm not expecting Georgia to put up 50 points, even though I know they can. I honestly, what I'm looking for is Beck. I want to see big plays by Beck. I want to see him kind of take this offense by the reins, kind of, because Mike Bobo's getting a lot of the blame right now, and it's like, some of the plays are there. They're just not being made. So I feel like Georgia just needs to come out, be efficient. You talk about a defense that's bottom of the barrel, that's Mississippi State. There's no reason that you can't have a prolific offense during the first half of this football game. So that's what I want to see. I would love to see a score drive, something like 7 drives, 7 scores type situation here. Mississippi State does kind of get back in this game, I think, gambling-wise. What's the line at, 33.5?
I got it at 34.
34. Okay, so I got Georgia 42. Mississippi State gets a late score, 13, to get into that spread there.
Yeah, that's where we're at, isn't it, Shane? If we cover the spread, we're making progress here.
That's it.
Even though the spread is 5 touchdowns. You know what I mean? But now maybe 2 weeks to prepare. Maybe you get something going here. You found some momentum against Texas. I've seen the Texas people say, well, we shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Which is probably closer to reality. But, again, it is what it is. If you can force Georgia into some of the same issues, but I don't know if you will, because Georgia's, they've had their miscues already. Mm-hmm. Kentucky and obviously Alabama, they've played down to the level of the competition. They've been humbled. Mm-hmm. And then last week, took care of business in a big way in a rivalry type game. So, again, I think Georgia's looking pretty now with all these teams falling around them.
Yeah.
And hell, even if it doesn't matter what happens in Dallas this weekend, Georgia's going to have their opportunity next week to prove that they are the best team in this conference. So everything's in front of Georgia. I'm struggling to even think of a way that this could be a competitive matchup. Give me Georgia 35, Mississippi State 10. So yeah. Kirby doesn't like to kick teams' ass.
No,
he really doesn't. And especially, a team like this that is not going to test them, that is first year, and is going to play a lot of young players. Kirby's probably going to play a lot of young players too. You know what I mean? Otherwise, could they beat this team by 50, 60 points if they really, really wanted to? I think they could. But, give me 35-10. I think it'll be something like that. A shorter game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of running. There may be like 5 passes in the second half, from Georgia, anyway.
Yeah, and I hate to I think, like, Levy and them would be like, not that they'd be happy, but they'd be like, thank you, Kirby. Thank you for not crushing us when you could have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I owe you one.
Now, how about this one, Shane? Another one of the early games here. We got South Carolina at Alabama, 11 a.m. kickoff. Noon Eastern on ABC. I love these ABC triple headers, Shane. They're game changers.
Yes.
Alabama, 21-point favorite at home. Over-unders, 50.5. Both these teams, Shane, suffered tough losses last week. Which team bounces back?
This is going to be a sloppy good game, Mike. And one thing that I'm wanting to see is not just how Alabama kind of bounces back, but maybe I'm going to be more intrigued by the coaching staff here. What they're wearing, I'm messing with you. I am curious though about, maybe some of the reactions, when things don't go their way, maybe a bad penalty. We saw a little bit of a meltdown sometimes with Alabama last week. And is this a team that's kind of got their shit together, or is this a team that we're going to have lingering problems throughout the season? Because, they really did get exposed. That defense got exposed like crazy last week against Vanderbilt. I don't think that Loggins and company hasn't noticed. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a little more option, a little bit more quarterback run in this football game. They're going to keep Alabama on their toes for sure. But I just feel as Alabama overall has too much talent. Fool me once. You lost to Vanderbilt. Everybody got to see it. But doing it 2 weeks in a row, yeah, maybe we do fire DeBoer. You know what I'm saying? If that happens, this is a fireable offense, losing to South Carolina. South Carolina's got a really good football team. A lot better defense than Vanderbilt, and I think at moments a better offense. I'm not saying that Sellers and them is Pavia, but we've seen moments when he could be. So, I'm not sleeping on this football game. Would not blow my mind if it was an upset, but it kind of would. So give me Alabama 30, South Carolina 17. Close football game, so I do like the points here. But again, I feel like it's going to be a little bit sloppy in the middle of this game.
30-17, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you got?
I think I'd run DeBoer's ass if it was 13
that bad. 13 points?
Oh, buddy. Yeah, this is going to tell us a lot about both these teams, Shane.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I'm going to throw up South Carolina's schedule here. I mean, if I'm no show, that's too strong a word. But I mean, if they get embarrassed, I think things could go sideways here in a hurry. Mm-hmm. Now, at the same time, I don't think this would be near as big an upset as Vanderbilt beating Alabama. So certainly can't say it's impossible. But I've been thinking about this all week, Shane, and bottom line, fair or not, I don't have confidence in South Carolina's coaching staff, especially on the offensive side of the football, to do the things that Vanderbilt did to Alabama. I really don't. I think that was more about execution and outstanding quarterback play and just making all the right reads, all the right plays. And I've not seen that yet from South Carolina, particularly with this coaching staff. So, yeah, I mean, Alabama's going to be pissed off. I get it. But they should have been pissed off after Vanderbilt jumped on them last week, and I didn't see that in the second half. So how good is Alabama? Did they just have a couple tricks up their sleeves and just jumped on Georgia? And ever since then, it's been kind of a nightmare for them outside of highlight plays by they got this teenager I keep hearing about. You know what I mean? But aside from that, I don't know what they are right now.
Yeah.
And we'll find out. We'll see how they show. But this should not be a close football game. And hell, even if it is, like you're saying, I'm going to start throwing dirt on Alabama. I really am. Because if they don't whoop South Carolina's ass at home after that humbling they got last week, we got real problems. And I think it's not so much on the players. I think it would signal that they hired poorly on the defensive side of the football. I think we already know that. And then I think it's Kalen DeBoer can't handle the pressure. Because he's feeling it this week from his wardrobe to Paul Feinbaum to not showing enough emotion to his players kicking footballs and doing all kinds of nonsense. Give me Alabama 45, South Carolina 20. I don't think this is a competitive ball game, and it shouldn't be. And if it is, then DeBoer's in trouble. I really do think.
You know what's crazy is like South Carolina is like a perfect upset candidate against Ole Miss and Alabama. It's just unfortunate the upset happened the week before they played them. So
right.
They had the big upset with Kentucky, then they play Ole Miss. Now you got Bama coming in here, so it feels like this team's on high alert. And I'm kind of with you, but if we have any sign of life on that offense, the defense can keep them in the football game. I really do think so. But I feel like, and I'm talking about South Carolina here, if they have some life of offense, if they're able to kind of replicate what Vanderbilt was doing and keeping those clocks moving, keeping the third, getting those crucial third downs, I don't know, man. I'm not ruling an upset out here. It's just, I'm kind of with you. I think top to bottom, Alabama may have too much talent.
Hunter says they should hire Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Hugh Freeze.
Oh, God. Isn't he on a bye week? Why are we talking about? He can't go 1 week without talking about Hugh Freeze, can we?
No, because he's so dirty. And you know how you stay clean, Shane?
How do you do that?
Mando, come on. You do it. That's the whole reason I brought that up.
I was like, where's he going with this? Oh, that's a clean joke right there, Mike.
So head on over. Mando, they're partnered with us this week. ShopMando.com. Put in that promo code SEC. What's Mando, you're asking? That's how we stay clean over here. Total body control, odor control, anywhere with Shop Mando. Get $5 off a starter pack. Again, with that promo code SEC at shopmando.com. $5 off is 40% off the entire order, Shane. You get a solid stick of deodorant. You get cream tube deodorant. That's what I'm wearing right now. And 2 free products of your choice and free shipping over at Mando. Shopmando.com. And most importantly, that promo code SEC. Get you $5 off a starter pack. How about it, Shane?
Hell yeah, man. You dirty bastard. You got me. You got me.
Well, speaking of got, I don't know what to do with this one, Shane. Can Diego Pavia, can he get him another scalp? It's time, Kentucky, Shane. What a game this could be. Vanderbilt at Kentucky. Kentucky, though, big favorite, 13.5 points. Over-unders 44, so a low total. This is the late night game. sort of, kind of. 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central on SEC Network, Shane. Man, who wins this one? And again, Kentucky's 2 weeks to prepare coming off that Ole Miss win, so they're pretty hot right now too.
I don't know about. I'm afraid to gamble with Vanderbilt. I mean, you know what I'm saying? People looked at Virginia Tech like that can't happen. Mm-hmm. They saw Mizzou and said that can't happen. I know they lost that game, but damn, if it were a good kicker, you never know what would have happened here. And same thing with Bama last week as they're taking the goalposts and throwing it into the Cumberland River. So, yeah, I get the confidence of Kentucky, but you're looking at the track record it took to get to you guys. And I'm a little worried, man. You're coming off a huge upset yourself. You had a bye week. You've had all week to kind of watch that football game, not get sucked into it. But there's also a part of you that thinks that you've arrived when you knock off a top 5 powerhouse. You know what I'm saying? So does that confidence bite them in the foot or bite them in the ass?
Or the door.
Shoot them in the foot. I don't know. My sayings are a little off right now. I don't think so, Mike. I feel like Kentucky is – I feel like they kind of turned a new page, and I feel like Coach Stoops especially is I don't know. It's not. You know, he took his tee shot, Mike. You know, I feel like this is a team that's going to be exciting again on offense. I think they're going to take chances on defense and offense. This is a football team that doesn't want to rebuild anymore. They want to upset some folks. They want to be in the conversation of one of the best teams in the conference. And to do that, knocking off Vanderbilt, you'd actually get a feather in your hat, Mike. So I think this is a very, very good football game, and I think it comes down to the damn wire. Don't be surprised if Vanderbilt doesn't lead this game for most of it. But I like Kentucky to squeeze by here. Give me Kentucky 27, Vandy 21.
Oh, so get a nice little ball game. So you like Vandy in the points at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this was interesting to me, Shane. I should do a better job to make this easier to read here. But Brock Vandegrift on the injury report, how about it? Now, he is listed as probable, so I can't imagine he'd miss this game. But after coming off the bye, that surprised me. Our outstanding defensive back, Harrison, he is still out. Of course, he missed Ole Miss, and it didn't bother them a lick. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying they can't win without him, but just a couple interesting injury notes. And this was Wednesday.
Yeah.
They put these out in the evening, maybe in the updated Thursday injury report. Maybe Brock may not even be listed. So I just wanted to make note of that. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm bought in on Kentucky yet, Shane.
Yeah,
I know you've been. You were all in on them. You were all out on them. Now you're back in on them. I mean, hell, they've played arguably, better than anybody when you're talking about, I guess, top competition.
Yeah,
barely lost to Georgia, beat Ole Miss. So I could be dead wrong here, but again, I'm right with you. How can Vanderbilt, after the game of their lives? I'm seeing all over ESPN, SEC Network, Diego Pavia, and he should. He deserves all the praise after last week.
Yeah.
But how can he focus when he's on Paul Feinbaum? Did you see ESPN hooked him up with Johnny Manziel?
Oh gosh.
I mean, how can this kid focus with all this? Kentucky, 2 weeks to prepare, night game. Kentucky's a very underrated home field advantage, particularly at night. Hell, Coach O found out the hard way. His ass was gone after that. You know what I mean? So they can win up there at night. And the way Kentucky's defense is playing, I don't even think it's this may seem like a bold take. I don't think it's bold at all, Shane. I think Kentucky's defense is better than Alabama's.
Yeah.
But probably by a wide margin right now. So this could be a much, much different game. This could be a huge letdown game. All the progress made, Shane, last week, knocking off number one. It's probably going to be for naught because Vanderbilt's going on the road. And Vanderbilt, Shane, I'm trying to look at the score I predicted here. Vanderbilt blows it. Vanderbilt 28, Kentucky 27, upset prediction. Vanderbilt's keeping. Come on, buddy, come on. All right, who's a better quarterback, Diego or Brock? I mean, I even have to ask you that. It's Diego, right?
Yeah.
Better offense by a country mile right now. The way they're executing is Vanderbilt. Again, this will be a tough test, but I am a little worried that Kentucky can score because I don't think Vanderbilt's defense is good at all. But Kentucky's offense ain't that good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give me Vanderbilt, man. I think they keep it rolling. I think Clark Lee's a better coach than Mark Stoops, too.
Oh, God.
And, hey, last time they faced up here in Lexington, who won? Clark Lee whooped his ass. So I think he whoops his ass again.
By 1 point.
By 1 point.
Yeah.
Morristown Honda.
Yeah. No, Pavia is a fun story. And don't get me wrong, I love everything that he's represented. I've loved everything he's done up to this point. But you're all right. He's went a little Hollywood here lately, Mike. And part of me thinks of that kid in the tournament, that came off the bench and hit all those 3-pointers, and everybody was talking about how great he is until they lost. I feel like that's what happens this week. I feel like Vanderbilt comes to earth a little bit. They finally going against a really good defense, a team that it will be prepared to contain Pavia. And when that happens and this team becomes one-dimensional, I don't think Kentucky looks back. So, no, Kentucky.
Cousin Robert says Clark Lee to Florida. Would that be horrible for them when they finally turn it around and he's like, I'm out?
Deuces, anchor down as he out.
Wait, did you say you're changing your score?
Well, I thought about giving Kentucky a few more points, but I'm going to leave it. I'm pretty confident in this. I'm not locking it, but I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, we still haven't got a lock yet on this show. But speaking of confidence, wondering where you're at? Here, buddy, the marathon game. Florida on the road at Tennessee. The point spread's actually changed a little bit, depending on where you go. But we got it as 14.5 points in favor of Tennessee. Over-under's 56. Another night game, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central on ESPN. Shane, who do you like in this one? Will the curse of the Florida Gators continue, or does Tennessee get back on track?
Well, it's funny you mentioned lock, Mike, because I thought I would just use it for my favor here. But I didn't, Mike. I mean, I really did think about it for a minute, saying, hey, I'm going to pick Florida to pull off the upset. But I'm not going to do that, Mike, because I don't know. I feel like I'm rocking some sort of evil boat, when I do that. But here's the case, Mike. Every year that Tennessee and Florida play, as a Tennessee homer, you always feel like you got a shot, or you feel like you're going to win, period. There's no like, I hope we hang in there. I hope we keep it competitive. It's like, no, for the last 19 years, we've always thought we've had a shot or we're going to win this football game. But unfortunately, in the last 19 years, it's only happened twice. But that's us. That's Tennessee fans, man. We're so damn dumb sometimes that we just think that we always could. It's like beating your head against the wall. You just don't understand the curse that the Florida Gators have over the University of Tennessee. And last year, I was so confident that I made a bet that if we lost, I'd lose every mile every point that we'd lose by, I'd walk a mile. And man, there was a chance I was going to do 20. I would have died. I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. 13, barely survived that one. But I made a bet, and I'm going to stick to it, Mike. If Tennessee loses this football game, I will do a half marathon. Mike's going to be right there with me. We're going to be filming the whole thing. We're going to have medevac near us. We're going to have ambulances near us. We're going to have IVs near us. I mean, it's going to be, we'll be okay. I'll survive this thing if it happens. But the beautiful thing is, Mike, 19 years. It ain't happening this year. I ain't going to have to walk nowhere but to the fridge to grab me another beer after the Tennessee Vols whoop up on Florida. Mike, this ain't a football game. I know Billy's got 2 wins, and he looked good against UCF, shitty team. He looked good against Mississippi State, shitty team. But you know what? He's going against a team that's battle-tested, got embarrassed last week to a top 5 Arkansas Razorback. That's what they should be. This is a football team that, yes, has made a few mistakes along the way, but I don't think that they're bad. I do not think that I feel like this is a volunteer football team that if they get everything right, could be a college football playoff contender. Florida Gators are not a contender. Florida Gators are on their way out. So give me Tennessee 31, Florida Gators 28. I still have it close, but
3-point game. Come on.
I still have it close because let's be real, Mike. You know it's going to come down to the last possession, and Florida probably pushes a field goal or something.
Yeah, Ducati says I smell a lot of poo coming out of Cousin Shane's mouth, but yeah, it sounds like you every year when you're picking this damn game, Shane.
Every freaking year.
Remember, I thought the funniest, I don't know how many listeners we have right now that will remember this, but it's a couple years ago. You made a video, Vols by 50 in this game, and that was the one where Florida won by 40-something points.
Yeah. Super confident. 19 years, half my life. I've always thought. I knew we were either going to win it or it's going to be close.
Right.
Confident. Look at cousin Danny. Why don't you go eat something out of a cup, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's very hard. Very, very hard to be confident in Tennessee in this damn game, Shane.
Yeah.
But I liked a lot of what you had to say there. I mean, Florida, again, look at the numbers, man. Florida can't do much on defense. Now, they stopped UCF. I heard something that was so mean. So I didn't create this, but I'm just repeating what I heard.
Yeah.
Someone said, God, what happened to KJ? Looked like he's ate his NIL.
Oh, damn.
But it's true. I mean, he's like a shell of his former self out there. I'm not impressed by anything I saw in that football game. I mean, Florida came out strong. If they could do that, I think they could jump on Tennessee, but I think this crowd, Checker, Nealon, I think they're going to be in it all game. This is the perfect defense for an offense that's struggling. Because if Tennessee can't have success against Florida, particularly on Tennessee's offense, Florida defense, then they got real problems. And this is going to be a nightmare season in a damn hurry because they got Alabama will whoop her ass, Georgia will whoop her ass.
Yep.
Hell, Vanderbilt probably beat them, maybe even Kentucky. Because all these teams, but short of Vanderbilt, has got a better defense than Florida. I mean, Florida's just completely dog shit on defense. So I think this is the get-right game. And I know there's lots of Tennessee fans freaking out. Again, Arkansas is a good team. You caught them at a buzzsaw. It was night their place. I can't think of many at-home night games that many SEC teams are losing this season. I really don't, Shane. So I don't think it's near as close of a ball game as you. Give me Tennessee 38, Florida 20. I think Tennessee covers. I think they cover easily in this football game.
You know, folks don't know, but after we get done with the show, I'll send Mike my list, you know. So I've got it here real nice, topped out, and I'll send it to him. And I'm not lying, Mike. When you get this one, can you flip the Florida score? Because I had Florida 31, Tennessee 28. And so I hope that's not a prelude to what's going to happen here. But just know that those scores are backwards, okay?
Okay.
Damn, I'm so used to losing to Florida, I put them up in the win column.
Yep. Well, how about this one, Shane? This is going to be one hell of a matchup potentially. Could be the game of the week in the SEC. We got Ole Miss, number 9, at number 13, LSU. Another night game, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern, ABC. Again, I love these triple headers here. Point spread again, Ole Miss favored by 3. The over-unders, 62 total points. You have been in love with LSU since the offseason. Do they keep it going? Or does Lane Whiffin Kiffin finally get him a big-time win and keep their playoff hopes alive?
Mike, I tell you what, I really like this LSU offense. I just think that they finally have woke up and they realize they're good at football. And South Carolina was, you know, I keep going back to that one. I feel like that was the moment you escaped that one, that LSU finally became a football team, that they finally said, you know what, there's nobody we can't lose to. LSU has an opportunity here, man, to make college football. They're that fringe football team, and they're going against Ole Miss Rebels, which honestly, Mike, I'm not saying they're up and down, but they are. You know, I can't. The verdict out there is that Lane Kiffin, the old TikTok Kiffin, is already focused on the next job. He's already focused on how he could fix this program that he's maybe going to. I mean, I'm not saying that it's happened, but he spends so much time trolling that sometimes there's part of you feels like he gets lost in the moment. And right now, I feel like Ole Miss has a football team that could do some special things, but then they do dumb things to follow it up. Even last week, they got a nice win against South Carolina, but I felt like in that football game, there was moments, some boneheaded moments, where they just looked like not a top 5 football team, not a top 12 football team. Jackson Dart, we were promised that he was going to be a Heisman candidate. We were promised that this defense was going to be wait a minute, this defense is locked down. That's right, Mike. When I think of LSU and Ole Miss, one thing that I always thought of was shootouts, which it could be. I do think LSU has enough firepower to make this a shootout again. But then I'm remembering that Ole Miss actually has a serviceable defense. And you know what? LSU doesn't. Mike, this isn't a football game. I don't even know why I'm rambling. Let's go ahead and get the lock in.
Oh, no.
Ole Miss Rebels. This ain't a football game, man. You want to talk about Brian Kelly being on the hot seat? A lot of people find that amusing. They won't find it amusing after this ass beating that Lane Kiffin and company are about to put on them. Ole Miss 38, LSU 24.
38-24. Well, congratulations, LSU, on winning this damn game. Now, I might have to change my score here, Shane, because basically anytime you lock a team, I'm like, well, God, the other team's winning.
Yeah.
The other team's winning, so LSU's definitely winning this football game.
Yeah, Ole Miss, I'm getting it right. Seriously, I know I've had some bad luck with the locks, and I know that it's not looked good because other teams have won, but this one's got to win. Ole Miss is a really good football team, and I feel like Kentucky was the best thing that could have happened to them. Kentucky just beating them and pulling off an upset was the best thing that could happen to that program. And honestly, Mike, I think LSU's just barely been surviving at this moment. They're like a fringe, like not a fringe playoff team. They're just a fringe good team. And I feel like they're about to get exposed this weekend.
So if that's true, if that's accurate.
Yeah.
Then the following weeks, and this is 2 weeks to prepare, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you get humbled, 2 weeks to prepare at home, at night, where allegedly you never lose. Then you go at Arkansas, at A&M, Alabama at home.
Yeah.
I'm not predicting 4 losses in a row. But I think I predict 3 losses out of the 4.
Mike, if they lose this one the way I feel like they're going to, you're going to see an unraveling of a football team here.
Right.
And it would not surprise me if they don't win another game until November 16th.
You hate LSU. Come on now.
No, I love them. It's just this defense is just almost, I can't believe it. I can't believe this is the product that we've gotten 2 years in a row. 1 year, yeah, I get it. Second year, this is not a good football team. And you lost Perkins. You know what I'm saying? The heart and soul of that defense. So no, I'm completely out. Ole Miss is just going to embarrass them.
Mm-hmm. Frank says 4 losses, make it 5 with playoff Billy coming to town.
Hey, you can't rule it out in that rivalry. That's for sure.
Yeah, but no, I kid because obviously I agree, Shane. I agree. I've been dogging LSU all season, really. I mean, I picked them to beat Southern Cal. Quite honestly, I wanted to pick Southern Cal in that game, but I knew we were going to do the watch party and all that, and I didn't want to be. Yeah, I don't know. I can't pick against the SEC in a game like that. But I had a good feeling they were going to lose it. Of course, they've been red hot ever since then, so credit them. Maybe this is the game that turns the narrative, and maybe this is the game that maybe we start inserting Garrett Nussmeier as a Heisman contender. Shane, if they're beating teams of this caliber at home, surely, yeah, I think they can go on the road and beat Arkansas. Maybe that A&M game, maybe that's the game of the year. LSU at A&M, I don't know, but I don't see it. Come on, buddy, I don't see it. I'm right there with you. I think Kentucky was a humbling game that got Ole Miss right. And not only do I like Ole Miss to win, I like them to cover here too. Give me Ole Miss 35, LSU 28. Because again, I do agree with you. I think Ole Miss got a very good defense. But LSU does got a really, really good offense.
Yeah.
So I think 28 points on this team, I think that's going to be tough to come by. But I think they get there. I think they make it competitive. But I think Ole Miss runs away with it. 35-28.
Yeah, and then we can start putting away the old whiffing nonsense, Mike. You know what I'm saying? This is a big game. Death Valley, this is a big game, and it's a game that Lane has lost many times in the past. And I feel like if they somehow lose this game, then you got to ask the tough questions. You know, where is this program? How good is Lane Kiffin, So I feel like this is a very, very tricky matchup, but it's very crucial. Whoever wins this game has a shot for a college football playoff. Whoever loses is out.
And Cousin Frank makes an excellent point. Cousin Mike and Shane agree. Hit that LSU buddy line, cousins. Congratulations, LSU, on your big win here.
Oh, love it.
All right, final one here, Shane. And what have we been delaying here? Huge matchup here in Dallas. Cannot wait for this one, Shane. Texas, Oklahoma in Dallas. Texas, a 14-point favorite. Over-under is 51 total points. This is 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central kick on ABC. Red River Shootout. Don't you dare call it anything other than that. Who do you like in this one, Shane?
Oh, Mike, the only pick's Texas, right? They're the better football team. They're the ones favored by 2 scores. This is the football team that has 2 quarterbacks. You got yours, who's still a Heisman candidate somehow, is coming back, and he's going to win this game. It's going to happen. But there's a part of you that says, wait a minute, Shane, this is a rivalry. You throw those, it doesn't matter what the roster is. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard is, after the first, second quarter. At the end of the game, it's going to come down to a one possession, which typically it does, Mike. The last 9 times that these guys have met, it's about 50-50, right? No, wait. Oklahoma has won 2 out of those games. Well, wait. Texas has only won 2. So I'm trying to figure out, Mike, am I supposed to get on the Texas bandwagon? Am I supposed to get on the Oklahoma bandwagon? One could argue that Ole Miss had that cupcake schedule. They came off of it, lost to Kentucky. You could argue that Alabama, maybe not Alabama, it's not a good example, but Tennessee, cupcake schedule, comes off of it, plays a couple of good teams, goes to the final wire, and then loses the next game. So you could argue that's what the path Texas is taking. A couple cupcake games. You're going to have yours come back. Is he going to be rusty? Remember, he came back last year. He was pretty damn rusty in that football game. So there's so many little things that are kind of floating around this rivalry, and you're just trying to pinpoint, is Texas a good team, or have they not played anybody? I think they played somebody, Mike. Let's be
Michigan?
honest.
Come on.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Michigan's not a good football team. Going on the road, I feel like they played somebody. But also, I feel like in practice, they've been battle tested against the best team, and that's just their own defense, Mike. So I think this is going to come down the damn wire. I have no confidence in this one. I'm going to go ahead and Morristown Honda this thing. I've switched the score twice because I do feel like Oklahoma's getting better. I feel like they are battle tested. I feel like they've had a lot of really good football games, and I feel like this as a program by the end of the year will look 9 times different than they did at the start of the season. Don't be surprised if Oklahoma wins this football game. But I've got Texas winning it 28-27. 1 point, Morristown High.
Oh, 1 point after all that trash you just talked?
I know. It's just, again, there's something about Hawkins. There's something about this defense in particular. They do love to live in the backfield. And yours coming back. It's not like a video game where they just come in and all of a sudden they're back to their 99 attributes. There's practice and then there's game readiness, and I don't know if yours can just step in to this rivalry and be game ready. So don't be surprised if we don't have a little quarterback controversy by the end of this football game because he looks a little rusty. But I feel like Texas has just slightly got more talent, mainly on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I love that Oklahoma defense, Shane.
Yeah.
I think I like what Texas defense has done too this year, though. But if you give me more confidence in which unit to show up in this game with 2 weeks prepared, it's Brent Venables and that defense.
Yeah.
I think they'll have something cooked up for Texas. And I love everything you said. That's all I've been hearing, Shane. You throw the records out. Throw the statistics out. This is a rivalry game. Texas ain't played nobody. But what, on the other side, Texas, we're going to run through the SEC. We're the only undefeated SEC. We own this damn league already. Yada, yada. I've been hearing all this bullshit for months and months and months, Shane. Texas going to come in and whoop everybody's ass in the SEC. Well, now they finally get to prove it, to show it against a team that again, Oklahoma has got their number. I think you said it quite well there, Shane. And I do think it's one of the best rivalries in all, not just college football, I think in all the sports. So I think there's a lot to all that, Shane. And with a couple weeks to prepare, we'll see.
Oh, God. Oh, gosh.
I just want to see if make sure everybody can see this here. I got something special cooked up here. I got my Hordes Down shirt here, Shane. Hordes Down for them damn Texas Longhorns. They think they're going to come into this league and dominate the SEC. They can't even beat their damn Big 12 rival. Come on, Shane. You really think Texas is going to come in here and whoop everybody's ass and march their way to the college football playoff and get to 6-0? I don't see it, Shane. Give me Oklahoma 14, Texas 42, lock of the week. Texas go whoop Oklahoma's ass, send them crying all the way to Norman, Shane. This ain't even going to be a ball game. And if I'm wrong, which there's no chances in hell I will be, I'll sing that damn stupid Oklahoma fight song on the next episode. It ain't happening. Texas rolling their way to the college football playoff. Texas going to beat the shit out of Oklahoma here on Saturday. 42-14.
Oh, my gosh, man. Man, I've never pulled for Oklahoma so much in my life. Oh, brother, what a wonderful weekend. What a wild weekend. We got rivalries kicking in, the SEC action. There's not one football game in there that you just mentioned, other than maybe the Georgia game, that you're like, well, maybe it should be UMass. But even then, they've disappointed. But there are going to so many football games that we may have another weekend like we had last weekend, brother, and that's what I'm here for. That's
right.
Why this conference, we told you coming into this season, 2024 was going to be the best year. I can't believe it, man. We're just now getting into October, and I would argue that this is the best college football season I have ever seen in my entire life.
And so here's my, again, my picks for this week, Shane, and here's what scares me, though. I think we agree on every damn game except Vanderbilt, Kentucky, right? You got Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
But every other one, we're in agreement. So these are probably god awful picks.
A little too synced up.
Tennessee's going to get their ass whooped. Ole Miss is going to get their ass whooped. Oklahoma's going to pull off the greatest upset in college football history here. Not really, but rivalry showdown. If things do play out, though, Shane, the way we kind of foresee them, what's the headline in the SEC come Sunday?
If they play out the way we see them, I feel like Lane Kiffin. I think that Coach Kelly, Lane Kiffin talk will be a big one.
Yeah.
Because again, Death Valley, you come into their place, and I predict that one as a blowout. So I feel like there's going to be some fingers being pointed down there. Is Coach Kelly the guy? Maybe not hot seat. I hate hot seat talk. It seems like that's all everybody wants to talk about. But I do think that there is some definite changes that are going to need to be made, and mainly on the defensive side, because I feel like that is your Achilles heel like crazy.
Right. And which one are you least confident about? Is it Tennessee, Florida?
Tennessee, Florida.
Even over your Morristown Honda?
Well, yeah, because again, 19 years. I would honestly, out of the 19 games, I would say at least 9 I thought we were going to win, and maybe 8, and we only have 2. So that one I just know is naturally skewed because of my homerism. But the Texas-Oklahoma game is another one. If you look at, especially the football games that they play, just like the last 10 years, other than the one game, I think it was 40 points or something like that, it's always been a single possession win. Last year, it was a magical football game. So I'm not expecting anything different into this one right here. Honestly, I feel like whoever gets a little bit of an early momentum, maybe a couple of turnovers, something like that, they're going to win this football game. So that's why I'm not ruling out Oklahoma. I know you got the bloodbath there, but I feel like Oklahoma is still in this thing.
And then which ones would most cause emergency podcast? I mean, I think for me, it's got to be South Carolina somehow beating or Mississippi State beating Georgia. I mean, those right there will be emergencies. But I don't know how likely that is. But again, hell, that's why I didn't think Vanderbilt beating Alabama was likely either. You know what?
Yeah, South Carolina, I feel like Florida, those potentially, it just depends on the score. Those are the two that I'm looking at for emergency. Obviously, State and UMass will have a phone call. But other than that, that's the only time I see one.
And when Florida knocks off Tennessee, how many hours before you resurface?
I may not be on for a while, Mike. I may be, I don't even want to talk about it because I've been there, and I'm already sad thinking about it. We ain't even played the game, and I'm already sad. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, real quick, let's go through some of these donations real quick. Hunter, he says, Hugh Freeze noted that whenever he talks about how something really is, he gets blamed for throwing somebody under the bus. Yep.
Thanks, guys.
And then Serene and King Nuss is about to fry open some land shark. How about it, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see.
And Devin says Tiger Stadium will show no mercy. So I mean, LSU fans are feeling it. That they should be. You know what?
Hey, that's the game changer right there. It's just bringing that place to life. And I'm not saying that it hasn't been loud this year, but it ain't been Death Valley yet. This is an opportunity to make that place rock and really put Ole Miss on their heels.
Yep. All right, buddy. Well, you got anything else before we hop off the line?
No. Get those notifications on because if we do go live this weekend, you'll want to know about it. And I hope everybody's safe down there in Florida and, of course, the Carolinas and Tennessee. I know there's still folks battling with that, but we'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers. But tomorrow's going to be a wild, wild weekend, and who knows, we may have a couple more upsets. But I look forward to sharing beers and stories with all the cousins come Sunday.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Well, that's going to do it. Appreciate you. As always, appreciate each and every one of you. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Vols. Please, God, win this football game.